Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I think we should be live. If we are, please just let me know. Obviously, we're live. I should actually be live on YouTube and in Facebook and Fast Track FBA Facebook group and also Ahmed's FBK Facebook group. So if you're here doing it, so say drop your questions down below. If you want to know, I'm supposed to be joining by Ahmed today, but unfortunately he is off. So it's just going to be me, but we will do it with me and Ahmed next week. I promise you that. So let me just check that I am actually live. Otherwise, it's going to be me talking to myself all day long, which obviously is going to be good fun. So who have we got? So I'm live in one of the groups. Fantastic. Yeah, you can see it right there. Tom needs to get himself in the center. That way. There we go. Let's get that way. So we've got some people coming in. Catalina says, hello. Chicken Con says, hi, Tom. Hey. Chicken Con, what a name. Where did you come up with that idea? Wow. I'm just going to change my camera 1 second. Here's where it all goes wrong, like massively. Adjust the camera, all broken. So Chicken Con, Victoras, I think it is, if I'm saying that right. Hello, Thomas. Hey. Chicken Con, you got to let me know where you got that name from. That sounds interesting. Right. So I'm supposed to be joined by Ahmed today. Unfortunately, he has messaged to say that he cannot make it. Family things. But obviously, I do this normally on my own in my channel. So I'm happy to answer any questions you've got. So do drop your questions down below. Let me know how you're getting on in your business. And obviously, I'd love to know if there's any problems I can help solve or kind of help resolve or support you. What happened with my business this week? We did really well. We spent $10,000 per VA per last week, so I'm super happy with that. So $10,000 spend per VA. So I'm like, woohoo! And we've got some new brands that we're looking at this week that we're going to try and focus on as well. So really happy with that. So hello, Thomas. Alona says, hello, Tom. Hello, good to see you. Okay, Chicken Con said it was from a British YouTuber, obviously that's similar to me, that used to go around and eat lots of different fast food shops that were rating them. Loads of people do those kind of YouTube channels. Like they go around and try different foods and they rate them. There's a really big, I think the biggest YouTuber in Mexico does exactly the same thing, but he does it on the whole world. So it's absolutely incredible. Look who is here. Well, hey. Massive action, Mr. Sean Gilbert. Hey, Sean, absolutely love having you. So he's saying, who's taking massive action? Absolutely love it. Sean, are you going to be there at the Systemized Fulfillment event in Scunthorpe in May? Because I will be there. Obviously, it'll be good to catch up again. Obviously, see you. Only 13% bigger than a year ago as the UK economy is changing. What's everyone else sales like in the UK? Obviously, mine is 0. So don't. I won't ask you much about that. But honestly, like, hey, look. Regardless of whether you've grown 100% or even 13%, it doesn't matter. So long as you are running a business which you're happy with and it's profitable and you feel happy with where you're at, then I think that's the most important thing. So really good. Like well done. If I'm looking a little bit like hot, it's A, because it is hot here, and B, I literally finished the gym 15 minutes ago and I've showered in that time. So my body is still just cooling down. So please bear with me. Right, let's go to the next one. And Sean, let me know if you're coming to the Systemized Fulfillment. If anyone wants to know, there's in Scunthorpe. So May, I believe it's like the 24th, don't quote me, around that date. There is an event going on in England, in Scunthorpe, where a lot of sellers are going to be at the Systemized Fulfillment warehouse, and they're going to, Ahmed's going to be there, I'm going to be there, Gavin's going to be there, obviously a lot of other sellers as well, and we're just going to go meet there. You get to see about the warehouse. Also, we're going to give some talks and presentations about like Amazon selling. So I hope if you are interested and obviously want to come meet some sellers, do come meet that. That would be helpful. So let's go through. So keeping track of my costs on a spreadsheet and keeping invoices and receipts, is that all I need to give an accountant? So like if we talk about accountancy, obviously one of the most boring things ever. Obviously, I have accountants and I have admin VAs. So like if you ever get a chance to outsource this, do, because it doesn't really add value. So definitely keep your costs in. And generally it's going to be costs which are not like Amazon sales or like, the referral fee or the FBA fee. It'll be like other costs like prep center invoices. Generally what your costs are going to be is whatever costs show up on your statements, bank or credit card statements. They're what the accountants are going to want to know, so that they could literally go through your credit card statement and go through your spreadsheet and go, yes, they're the same. Ideally, if you can, try and get something like Xero or QuickBooks. I love Xero. And then you can just, it will import the statements automatically. And then obviously you can just kind of put the invoices to the correct thing already. My team do that for me automatically. It's amazing. And then my accountants just check it. So it makes it so much easier. But it's pretty much the same thing as the spreadsheet, but it's just automatic. So it's a lot easier. And also you can send invoices to Xero as well, which is quite useful. So Chicken Con says, does the UK charge corporation tax on profits from an LLC elected for a C Corp status at any point? Wow, that's a... Okay, first things first, I need to put a big caveat. I am not qualified to answer that question because I'm not a certified accountant. Number two, my understanding, if you have a UK limited company which owns an LLC, and it depends how the LLC doesn't really mean much. It's just a wrapper. It's like in the UK, it's like a wrapper for something. So if you have an LLC, then what it means is basically it's how it's taxed. So if it's an LLC pass-through, then yes, the UK company will need to pay corporation tax on it because the profits are passed through. If the profits are retained in the US as a C Corp, then probably not, but don't quote me. There might be some requirements if you repatriate the money back to the UK potentially. But if you like it's how it gets really complex. And by the way, if you get it wrong, there's big fines, like really, really big fines. So do you need to pay tax on it? I can't tell you the exact answer. Speak to an accountant, honestly. Preferably speak to a UK accountant rather than a US one, mainly for the fact they're going to be significantly cheaper than the US accountants. They're expensive, like really expensive. I pay $1,000 a month for an accountant. It's like, what? Right, Catalina, can I know more about POA? Oh, plan of action. And if is any email from Amazon to send this letter, or we need to submit another submission or reactivation account, all worthy documents required in PA on a PDF format. Wow. Okay. So first thing I'm going to say to you, probably get some help. We use a company called Seller Basics. They cost $100 per month, and I just recommend having them. If you want to kind of find out all the tools, you use fasttrackfba.com/tools. Number two is the fact that you are what we say. So look at that, and then just because they're going to help you get it right, you can keep submitting. But if you're not getting it right, Amazon don't tell you anything. It's basically like trying to throw shit at the wall and not realizing what sticks. That's the problem. So in regards to the POA, plan of action, it's really like what happened, what went wrong, or like what happened. I think, don't quote me because I'm not even 100% on top of my head. My team do it for me. And it's like, what is the corrective action that you're going to take? And then there's one other thing which I've forgotten. There's like 3 stages to it that you've got to write the POA in. I'm sure someone could write it down below. But the idea is that you've got to get it right with the right information. And that's very specific to what your problem is. So if your POA is like for section 3, it's very different to like account suspension or something else, or like invoices or late shipments, for example. So they're all very different types of POAs that you've got to write. They should have, I think they all have the same format, don't quote me. Seller Basics are really good and they've helped us out, and we have lots of POAs from them. But again, I don't really deal with them. Literally, my team message Seller Basics, get the information, tell them the problem, they get the information for them, Seller Basics write it, and then give it back to my team submit it. So that's the way it works. So I hope that makes sense. But Catalan, I think it is. I would definitely get professional help. I would strongly recommend that if you need to do POA for like account suspension, I think. Right, let's go through. Which accountants can you advise in the UK who has a good setup for bookkeeping and accountants? I would probably just recommend, the accountants we use aren't Amazon specific. So anymore, I do actually have a blog post. If you go to fasttrackfba.com/blog, you can see the accountants there. I think so. I want to be careful here, really careful about, the problem is I've seen too many accountants. I can't recommend you an accountant because I can't say they're the ones which are really, really that good. We do put some on our website that we do, but I don't want to go out there and be like, try these guys. These guys are great. And the only problem is it's the same as prep centers. Systemwise, I really I think they do a really good job and they do limit who they go with. But I think when you have too many people use an accountant, and I've seen it over the time, I've seen prep centers crash. I've seen accountants go bankrupt. An accountant has gone bankrupt. How does that happen? That seems stupid. Their job is to manage finances and they can't manage it. And so many people have been left out. And what I've also seen is that the person recommending them, i.e. the influencer, and call me an influencer if you want, I just want to be really careful about hey, I don't want to say, go try these guys, they're good, because you're going to take my recommendation. So I'm very careful about who I recommend. So have a look on our website. We do share some, but I would just be mindful of like recommending or like who are good. Got to be careful, and I would do a lot of research and reviews. Guys, if you've got questions down below, I appreciate today. Lots of people are probably tuning in, looking for like myself and Amit. He will be back next week. We'll definitely do a live together next week because I had great fun 2 weeks ago. But unfortunately, he has to go do some family stuff, so unfortunately, he can't be here. But drop your questions down below. I will be here for about 45 minutes, supporting you guys, answering your questions, and hey, just seeing if I can help you out. Massive Action says, interesting. May go visit. So yeah, man. So Sean is only an hour away from Systemized Fulfillment. You should go there. Honestly, Sean, I live in Mexico and I've been to Systemized Fulfillment 3 times in my life. So I think that's crazy. Like, definitely go. You should just come visit. And I think, let me just check. Do you want me to get the calendar up? Which one? I think it's in. I'll just load it. I'll tell you the date. Bang. May 25th. So I'll be up there May 24th. We've got like an event before, just like a few of us. And then I'll be there on the Sunday, just chilling. And then I'm hopefully going to go drive up to like Newcastle area for the following day. So yeah, if you're there on the 25th, fantastic. Like, come visit. But also, I think you've got to book tickets with Kev. You can't just turn up. I think he's expecting like 100 odd people, so it'll be a big event. Like, there's quite a lot of people going, so do check it out. So Sean, definitely go. Right, as a beginner being gated and everything, what kind of things should I begin with? Start selling on my FBA journey. Top tip for you: if you are a beginner getting started, what you want to do first of all is just try and find some products that you're ungated in. Don't worry about if they're profitable. You don't care about that. It's like, what are they ungated in? So number 2, once you've found a couple of products that you're ungated, you can look at things like home furniture, DIY, sports and outdoor, for example. Then you're going to look at the sellers on those listings, and you're going to look for the ones who have a very low number of review count. For example, like 1, 2, maybe up to like 50, but no more than that, probably like 20 ideally. Load up their storefronts and then look at all of the brands and the categories they're selling in, load them up, or the ASINs, see if you can sell them. And what you're going to do is you're just going to keep doing that. Do it for like an hour or 2, and you're just going to build up a big list of ASINs, brands and storefronts, or storefronts and categories you can sell in. Now, once you've done that, I would probably just start by like storefront stalking, right? Like, it's not the best way. I really don't like it, but I'd literally just go through all of these guys' storefronts and go, what are they selling? Let's go find those products and the suppliers. Now you're going to have a big list of brands that you can sell, categories that you can sell in, and suppliers that you can sell. And then you're just going to keep looking across all of those brands and the suppliers and selling them in the categories or selling them on Amazon. This is just going to really help you out. So I'd strongly recommend doing that. You're just trying to build up the knowledge of what you can sell. And then also, once you've got like $1,000 through sales, go through the ungating process. Like, we have an ungating guide, a free one you can get hold of. That's just going to help you. And I think the idea is that you just want to get yourself ungated as much as possible, but don't try and do it from day one. Try and get some sales in first. It makes it so much easier. Hope that helps. Right. Oh, wow. If it's all done right as a UK limited that owns the USD non-pass-through, you could just pay dividends on payouts. Correct. There is another weird, like, so you're basically, what you're saying is, if you have an LLC which is taxed as a C Corp, which is what we do, then if you're a UK taxpayer, you should just be able to get the when you pay dividend from the C Corp or LLC taxed as a C Corp out to you, you'll just pay dividends. Correct. But there is also one really other weird kind of law or rule about foreign-owned entities, something else. But you didn't ask about you as a owner. You didn't ask the question in regards to you owning the C Corp or the LLC offshore. You said the LTD owned the LLC. That's the difference. So you're saying if your company in the UK owns the LLC in the US, that's different from you owning the LLC in the US. There is a difference, and the taxation works differently. Again, get professional advice. It's complex. I do roughly understand it, but it is complex. Right. T-Jizz, what a name. You just wanted me to say that. Right. I'm almost at the VAT threshold, and I'd like to start online arbitrage, retail arbitrage. I'm currently doing wholesale. Our retail online, look, I'm gonna be straight honest with you. Like, I have been selling in Amazon in the UK a lot. I've done like £3.4 million in 1 year. OA is a challenge if you do not have a niche in the UK after VAT registration. And if I be very crystal clear, like you can do it, definitely. And OA and retail receipts, to specifically ask your question, are acceptable for VAT purposes so long as they meet the VAT requirements, i.e. they have, the VAT number on it, the supplier's name, what the products are. You've got to read up. If you spent over £250, you need a full VAT invoice. A simplified one won't work. But I will just say, if you're already in wholesale and it's working for you and you're about to go VAT registered, I'd stay in wholesale, like honestly. But what you really want to do, and I'll say this to everyone right now, whether you're in the US, UK, wherever you're selling, you've got to find niches. Like this is like where you make your money. Like what is it that you do to make money? And the number of people we talk to about, she say, oh, I'm hiring a VA, or like, okay, I'm like, cool. And I say, how do you, like, what's your niche at the moment? They're like, oh, we didn't bother. We'll just make money anywhere. We'll find money, like whatever, we'll buy whatever's profitable. And I'm like, it doesn't work. Like you don't find Apple going, yeah, like we'll just make like, an iPhone tomorrow. And then the next day we'll make a computer. And then you know what, the next day we'll just make, I don't know, we'll start building homes. And then the day after that, we'll do sneakers. Let's do some sneakers because they're profitable as well. Like, no, you focus, you really focus. And I stress this like a lot. So if you're doing like wholesale and something's working, keep doing it. Like that's the thing. You want to keep going where the money is. I hope that makes sense. I said it to everyone else. Most retail receipts do not have VAT breakdown, does HMO accept, right? Read the information. They don't need a VAT breakdown if they're a simplified one, which is below £250. If they're over £250, then obviously you need to get the proper full invoice, which will then, you probably need to go to like the customer service desk and actually get that. That's the thing. So definitely you can say that as well. Right. Is there tickets involved? Yes. Oh, for the systemized fulfillment, yeah, you need to speak to them and they will do tickets. Like, I'm not really 100% sure exactly how that works, but yeah, they'll do the tickets, and I don't think it's expensive, but it's just to make sure that it's kind of controlled, if that makes sense. They know how many people to expect. Right, let's go through. On which events should Amazon beginners go? I wouldn't worry too much. Like, I think if you're like, look, let's put it this way. I'm probably not an Amazon beginner. I'm probably a bit more experienced, but I'm going to a Systemize event in the UK. And then on top of that, one second. On top of that, coming forward. Just want to push a button. My laptop's getting really hot. So after a Systemize event, I want to go to. I normally go to the Miami Sellers Conference as well, which I really like as well. So they're the two events I go to each year. That's it. Outside of that, just go meet people in your local area. Honestly, network. Say hi, guys. I live here. Are you available to do it? So that's the point. So I hope that makes sense. Right, let's kind of jump through. Right, what is the issue with being VAT registered and doing online arbitrage? There is no issue per se, but the issue I see it as is when you are VAT registered, you get to reclaim the money off your stock, which is about 16.6%, for example. Great. But normally your stock is about half the price of what you're selling it for. But what you sell it for, you have to then pay 16.6% on top of that. Yes, I know that is 20%, but once you add it in, it's about 16.6% if you calculate it. So what you're doing is you're saving 16.6% on half the cost, but paying 16.6% on the top. Top end, you lose about 8% overall, which is like, oh man. So the problem comes is that anyone who's non-VAT registered doesn't lose that 8%, but you do. So therefore, you now have to make up 8% more than people who are non-VAT registered, which means that if the deals you're buying everyone else can buy, i.e. storefront stalking, then that means you're now losing about 8% versus them, which can generally mean that's your entire margin wiped out. Remember, I did it. I've seen it. It's not easy. 199 Roy says, hey, mate. Hey, 199. How you getting on? Catalina, thanks, Tom, for your answer. No problem. How are you targeting wholesale brands, distributors? Google, brand name. That's it. You can search Google, look on Google, type them in. Another little trick is, type in the brand, wholesaler that you already know. Look down the bottom. People also look for this. That can be really helpful. You can do EAN code searching. We do lots of little ones on that. We're just starting, so I'm not an expert. I hope that makes sense. So Facebook user says, hi, mate. Hey, Facebook user. Guys, drop your questions down below. I'll be here for another 25 minutes supporting you. And then obviously I'll drop off. But next week I'll be here with Ahmed as well. So I'm streaming in his group because we said we'd go live. Unfortunately, he can't make it. So he's like, no. Right, 1 second. So do drop down your comments down below and I will answer them. So, right, what type of categories are bad at selling for beginners FBA? I think, look, I probably go a bit contrary to what everyone else says in the world. I'd probably say fashion's quite a bad one. Like if you talk about sneakers to start with, I think not only like getting the information right on like sneakers, fashion, clothing, for example, textiles, is just really difficult. So not only are there loads of different variations, which are going to cause you a lot of confusion if you do not understand them. Number two is the fact that a lot of the products, while the overall listing does pretty well, the ones that you're going to sell will sell probably pretty slowly, like maybe 1 to 5 units per month. And they're generally going to be like higher value items. That means when you make mistakes, it costs you a lot. And then the third one is the fact that the returns fees is really expensive on clothing. So I'd probably stay away from that to start with. But once you kind of understand how to read graphs, you know what you're doing, I think you might be okay. So that'd be my thought. Ask, is the live being recorded? Yeah, so we do it. So you'll be able to watch it back on Facebook and also on my YouTube channel as well, and Ahmed's YouTube channel, Facebook as well. I think they'll be able to replay it. So I hope that makes sense. Sab says, stay away from FBA. Why? Why stay away from FBA? I wonder that. That's all I ever do. I've never done FBM. I did eBay once. I went, no thanks. But yeah, why stay away from FBA? I want to know. So I want to, what credit cards do you use for Amazon wholesale buying and receiving payments? We don't, it's generally cash. It's all cash. It's like bank transfers. Generally, that's what you'll find. What else? Some like the problem is we don't get the points so much using it. So we do still OA. We still do OA, and that's where we get the Amex points, which is great. But the credit cards we don't use. So because wholesalers don't accept it, or they do and they charge like 3%, and you're like, it's not worth it. Like that's not even on an Amex. That's on the normal ones. So it's like, ugh. So yeah, we don't do that. So how's the wholesale journey good? Good. We're doing so we're doing wholesale and OA. So I absolutely love that. And it's just like we're just looking. So if you want to know, like people were asking the question like, when should you go wholesale? Should you do OA? Or like I want to do wholesale. Like the way I look at it for anyone is find your brands, find your niches within OA first, and then go see if you can look at wholesalers to find those brands that are better. That's going to be like the way I look at it, because you just understand what it sells. Like if a wholesaler says, come, you know, if you're already selling it in OA and the wholesaler comes back to you and says, yes, we can supply that product, but you need to buy 200 units. If you've never sold it before, you're probably not going to want to buy 200 units. You know, if it's like $20, $30 per unit, you might be like, that's a lot of money, I'd rather not. But if you sold it in OA and go, I can see the sales velocity, the price is great, yeah, I'd take 200 units tomorrow. So like having that OA experience is going to be so, so important. So I'd stress that, like use OA as a great stepping point to move, you know, to help find brands and products that you like for wholesale, which will help you out. So when the buy box is suppressed, do Amazon rotate the lowest price sellers at the top of the list? Long story short is we don't know. Amazon do not share exactly how they do their buy box algorithm. And also as well, it's always changing. And even within different categories, we've seen it work differently. So number one, we don't know. Number two is the fact that there is like, that's when you actually see the buy box. When you talk about buy box suppression, there is no buy box, so there is no rotation. It's literally like you'd have to look at it. I think when you go in, it just does it by price, and it might be price plus shipping. So it will just list it in that order, but you have to look. I don't know off the top of my head. Most of the time, we're not really dealing with buy box suppress, or like that problem. So it does happen, but it's like we don't really go in to sell on buy box suppress. So I'm not 100% like on it, but just go find one and have a look, and you'll see the order. I think it's buy box plus price. That's the key thing I look at. But there is no rotation, if that makes sense. So it's going to go through. Should we take loan or credit for wholesale business? And what percentage of loan do you prefer? How to earn and give back loan? I don't know what you mean by give back. What does give back loan? Let me know about that. So should we take credit or credit card loan or credit card for business? I'm not in a position to advise you what financing options you should take for your business. I think it's really important you weigh that up and have a think about it yourself. Generally speaking, if I was going to go into wholesale, I'd probably want to be a loan rather than a credit card, because I can't use a credit card for wholesale purchases. I need to do cash. So a loan would be a better option. But again, it'd be for you. Percentages, obviously the lowest, the better. I had lunch with someone from Mexico the other day. And by the way, if no one knows this, Mexico has really high interest rates. So they were offered, I think the highest they were ever offered was like 70% APR. It was like, wow. The highest they ever took was 44%, which was like, wow. So if you think you've got it bad in the UK or US, maybe you're looking at like 15, 16, 17, maybe even up to 20. It's nothing in comparison to Mexico. So just be mindful. And this guy does millions a year. He's doing really well. So I think the question comes is, do your 15, like go down, do 15%. If you can get lower than that, like if you can get like 0% interest free credit cards, fantastic, or 5%, fantastic, do that. Like I probably say I wouldn't go above like 15, maybe 20 at top. So you got to really know what you're doing if you start getting higher APRs. And then how to earn and give back loan. You just basically pay the loan back as part of the repayment plan. I hope that makes sense. That should be quite obvious. I hope that makes sense. Chicken Con, right. eBay banned my entire household and everyone in my family before I made a business account and never gave a reason. Wow. Well, I would ask why, but that just sounds crazy. What did you do? What did someone in your family do? That's pretty extreme. It's not even like we're banning you, we're banning your family. Wow. Sorry to hear that, man. Right. Sean says, FBM fees are much better than FBA now since FBA fees increased this year. Will be interesting to see how many sellers are doing more in merchants. Sometimes merchant sellers are getting the buy box now too, I noticed. Yeah, I've seen that before. Like I've seen it, like Sean, I think we've been talking about this for years, whereby you get it, not years, yeah, probably like years actually, where sometimes you'll get, especially sellers fulfill Prime, but maybe FBM will get it over FBA at the same price point, which is really interesting. Like, whoa, that is crazy. So it does happen. But I think for you is just kind of well done. Like find those opportunities. Maybe it's a buy box. Try and understand what's going on. How can you maximize it? How can you make more money? They ain't lowering interest rates here in the UK anytime soon. I don't think they're trying to get inflation under control. Yeah, no, everything's going up, isn't it? Everything's going up. Is the next recession coming? That's the question. Sean's like, oh yes, there is. Is the next recession coming? That's going to be the big one. So I hope it makes sense. So, Sean, what do you think? Is a recession coming? Are we going to go for a crash? I don't know. Right. Chicken Con, ever thought about selling one of your businesses? No, not really. There's a really big saying. Dan Martell talks about it. It's called like build an empire. And when he talks about an empire is defined as a life you never want to retire from, of constant creativity and building your dream. And like I love that. I think it's great. So if we look at it in two, I have two companies. One is Amazon, one is Fast Track FBA. Like there's no money in Amazon like to sell it. Like they might buy it for a tiny amount, like even if you're making, let's just make a small multiple. Let's say you make 100K a year, fantastic. Then you might get 2x, so that might be 200,000. Well, if you're making 100K a year and and you'd only get 2, maybe, you probably wouldn't get 4x at all. But if you got 2x, the only reason why you get that is because you've got a team who know what they're doing and it can run without you. Like if you're still involved, then like you're not going to get anything because you need to be in it. So there's just no value in like selling an Amazon business. It's a cash business. There is no value in it. The other one is Fast Track FBA, and again, that's like me. I just like building stuff. Like I enjoy this company. Like I enjoy doing this. So for me, about sharing and giving back, and I like that. So probably not like, and also my face is all over it. So there's no way I could sell that. Maybe in the future, I don't know. Maybe we'll build something else and sell that. But between now and then, no, I'll just keep working. I enjoy it. Right. I think my little brother sold fake Chelsea shirts. Oh, wow. Okay, fine. Well done to your little brother. My God, ruining your life of creative e-com selling. How dare he? Right, next one. Massive action. They need to bring minimum quantity orders back for merchant sellers. Customers are now paying more. Yeah, or I think like again, it all depends, doesn't it? Like it's going to work for FBM sellers well, but not for FBA, the minimum order quantities. So I don't know the answer. I don't know. Maybe just do multi-packs, but I'm Sean, I know you do them all already. So yeah, like I'm not 100% sure. I'll say it right now. Mexico City is getting hot today. I'm like, I'm really hot. Right. I've actually got 2 fans on me. He's like, how's life in England? Let me know how the weather in England is. I want to know. I also, I was speaking to Natalie Cromie today, and I was like, how's England? How's it all getting on? So let me know. Right. Hey, how to Ungate in the main categories on Amazon is not accepting invoices for submission of invoices. We do not buy products from brands and then submit invoices because if we buy, how can we receive cash back? Yeah, like just like slow down a second. Like, by the way, like when you're trying to get ungated, do not try and make profit. Like your goal is not to make profit or cash back on being ungated. Your goal is to get ungated. And then once you're ungated, then you go and buy products from like OA sellers or OA stores that then will give you the cash back. That's what you're looking for. So don't worry about like, the best way to get ungated, like let's say, for example, I don't know, like Nike, for example, literally just go on like Nike.com and buy and ask for an invoice. They're the best ones, like, because that's directly from the manufacturer's website. That works a lot of the time. We have an ungating guide which will get you ungated, but you've got to, like, I always say it to people, like, you can pay like $400 to get unbranded or ungated in a brand, or you can just buy a product and try and get it sold for break even, and now you can sell the products. That's what you're looking for. So stop trying to like think about cash back and everything else. You're wasting your time. Focus on getting ungated first. That should help. Right, massive action. We're technically in recession and everything is waiting to go bang and the opportunity will come like 2008. What is going to be the reason for the bang, Sean? I want to hear that. Is it going to be housing crisis? Is it interest rates, student loan payments, credit card debts, car loans? What's the bang? What's going to be the bang? What's going to be the trigger? I want to hear that one. Let me know. JOD. Hey, Tom. I took your advice and rang up multiple companies to cancel my orders. They all say the same thing. They couldn't verify the card identity. Is this common with Mercury? Okay, cool. So have you called Mercury? Hey, Mercury, I'm trying to make payments. They're saying they can't verify the card, or message Mercury, sorry, and see what they say. Like, honestly, it's just one long rabbit tail. We may have got it, but not, like, we don't get it anymore. And mainly because my team just know which ones we can get orders through and how to do it. So now you speak to Mercury and say, I'm trying to make a payment with these guys. They're saying they can't verify. So what can we do? That's what you're really looking for. If you can get credit cards, that's going to help it out. We have Amex Platinum. What else do you do? PayPal is another option. So that's the thing. But speak to Mercury. That'd be my advice. Are you planning to go in private label? Hell no. No, not at all. I don't think I'll ever do private label. Who did I meet? I know. So I met my good friend, my friend in Mexico, does really well. He went private label. So he's done wholesale and private label because he, in his wholesale niche, and by the way, this is, okay, let's talk about niches. Finding an area where you can focus on. He does private label, he does wholesale, right? For brands, sells them all really well. Noticed what was doing well, and then said, hey, we can go make our own one of that. Went and made it, shipped it out. Now, to give you an idea, the product he buys, he told me the stats behind it. He says it costs him, I think it's 45p, so like 60 cents to make the product, including getting it into Mexico. And he sells it for $15. I was like, that's incredible. And he said like it's doing really, really well. Obviously, in those margins, he is. But so I think you can do P&L, but if you know where the right niche is. So he's doing a really good job. So England, but not me, I'm not doing P&L. England is lovely right now. Well, in London at least. Oh, I'll have to come check it out. I'm due to go meet my accountants in London when I get back for lunch. I said I'll go meet them. So hopefully the weather holds, but we know that's not going to be true. Not for the next month anyway. Right, let's go through. Dimitri, any link for the event in the UK to get tickets? 1 second. I'll see if I can. Oh, my thing's gonna systemize fulfillment. Do they not have like their event link? I don't even think I have a link. That's a summit. There we go. No, there we go. Tom's going to try and post that now. Is it going to work? If you look down in the chat, there, Systemized Fulfillment Summit. Definitely an affiliate link, not at all. Just let them know that I said hi. So yeah, do check that out. That's good. So myself going to be there. Ahmed's going to be there. First time I get to meet Ahmed. #excited. And obviously Gavin as well. Gavin's in Colombia right now. So we're all coming in from like Colombia, Mexico, UK into Scunthorpe. Yeah. I know. Great places. I think it's raining here. That is so true. 100% always. That's all I know. Right, let's go through. Rosie, I have a UK limit. I have limited in the UK, and if I want to import products from a third country to the US, do I need an LLC to deal with customs or is LTD? I don't know. I don't know the answer. I'd probably report to like an import-export specialist if you're looking to do that. Obviously, you can import-export. That's fine. People do international trade, but like what you need and how you do it, I'd probably speak to like an import-export specialist, or what they called people who do customs clearancing, like an import-export a house. I don't know all the costs with it and what would happen, but I'm guessing it'd be like, yeah, speak to them. That'll be the people that you need to know, and they'll tell you the cost behind it. But for me, I don't know, unfortunately. Or I can take them in my suitcase when I travel. That's what I'd love to do. Right, Dimitri, the weather is shiny and very windy. Oh, shiny, is that right? Shiny, sunny. Fantastic. How did it be shiny in England? Wow. Right, let's go. Guys, drop your questions down below. I will answer them. Also, I'm here. Got about another 10 minutes left to get them all answered, so I will go through. By the way, the weather feels like it's still winter. Oops. Don't tell me that. I'm supposed to be coming home right now. Literally, like Mexico City is the most beautiful weather all year round. It's beautiful all year round, but right now is the perfect time. Mid, like, or high 20s, very low humidity. No rain. Like, I can't remember the last time it rained in Mexico City. And I'm just looking out the window now and it's just gorgeous sunshine. I'm like, and I'm getting a bit hot, so I got the fans on. Right, let's go through. Massive action. Windy, I'm owed 70,000 in tax-free money, and I'm going to start taking 2K a month out and start living a bit and slowly doing up my house. I leverage my house to grow in business. Houses. Sean, I came to your house about 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I don't know, 2 years ago. It was a mess then. You mean to tell me you've not tidied up your house in 2 years? Damn, man, you gotta like get a cleaner, put it on business expenses, get them to clean it up for you. Absolutely fine. I have a cleaner. She helps me out as well. And so you're saying you're owed 73 in tax-free money on your business. So that's cool. So if anyone wants to know, one of the big things I always used to do, I'm not sure if Sean is saying this, every year the company made profit, but I always made sure I took out as much profit as I could, like always up to about 40,000, and I took it out straight into my name and then put it straight back in the company. And that was really important because even though I didn't need it, or I didn't need all of it, I kept taking it out to do the tax allowances and then putting it back in again. That was so important. Can you return items useful for ungating? You can, but I would not recommend it. I do not think it's a good thing. Like, it's just called a cost of doing business. Instead, why not just buy an item for ungating that you can sell and then you can get your money back on? I think that'd be the most important, like the best one. Because otherwise, you're just gonna, if you return for like a non-valid reason, then you're just going to start increasing your return rate with that supplier. And I think that's a bad thing to do. Be a good business owner. Do you think a brick and mortar traditional bank, Chase, Wells and Fargo's account card is better than online fintech banks? Possibly. If you've got one of them, do it. We've got, like, I have them right here. I'm kind of like cover my name up, cover my card details up. I have my Chase bank account there. Woohoo. Yeah, it's really blurred. I was just looking at it the other day. Still haven't put it in my card, but yeah, like I don't know the answer. I would get on the phone with Mercury and try and ask them why. Like we've had the problems, but it's been okay. Like, honestly, you got to do it. Massive action, debt crisis. Banks run due to Barclays only lets me take 7,500 a day now into investments. WWE3 on the cards too. World War III on the cards too. Wow. All going over in Europe. I think I might stay in Mexico for a while. So see how that goes. Or go to Thailand. Right. Which way do you think the US market is currently trending? Is it still strong, full of good margins? Have it deteriorated? What's your analysis? I think if you want to sell right now, the US is still the best place to be. Just for the simple fact that there's the biggest, like if you look at all the Amazon marketplaces, the US has the biggest demand. That's it, period. Like, to sell on. Like, that's non-negotiable. Like, you cannot debate that. And it's easy to do. And I think if you combine all of Europe, including the UK, you still don't meet the US. And it's like, why not? Why? Like, that's the thing. So there are good margin products. You just got to find it. The low-hanging fruit's gone. Same as in the UK, but there's just bigger demand. So I hope that helps. By the way, Systemized Summit, if anyone wants to know, myself, Ahmed, and Gavin are going to be there. So you can have a little look. So systemize.com, systemize fulfillment, systemizefulfillment.co.uk/summit. You get your tickets there. Obviously, just let them know Tom recommended you. That'd be good. I'll probably get a beer or something for it. That'd be nice. Dimitri said thank you. No problems. You're welcome. All I care always. What are the ASINs? What? I can't see the previous question. What are the ASINs? Hi, mate. Being recorded. No, I'm lost. All I care always. What are the ASINs? No, don't know. Sorry. Next one. I remember you saying the stores that you don't even touch anymore, e.g., Boots in the UK order. What are similar stores you have in the US? Oh, I don't know. I'd have to look at my sheet. That's information that only Tom knows. That's my special set and suppliers. So yeah, I don't know that. That'd be my team who knows them. But at the end of the day, like, we don't really think about them because I don't really build a list. Like, put it this way, you don't really build a list of stores not to buy from. You do, you have them, like, stay away from these guys. But you also have your list of stores, but you really have your list of stores as these are the ones that we should be focusing on because they're working. And if I talk about it in my business, they're the ones where we have good spend and they have good ROIs. We're like, fantastic. And by the way, we look at it every single month. Like every single month, my admin VA says, hi guys, everyone in the company gets it. These are the top suppliers, like the top 25. So we just see that. And then it's by the top 25 suppliers, what's their ROIs? So it's like fantastic. And we also look at the brands by ROI as well. So top 25 brands in spend and ROI for those. So that's like our investment. So it isn't by ROI, it's spend. And then it's like how much we invested and how much ROI do we get. And then what we do is we go, that supplier, stop that one, spend more time on these ones, let's do that. So that's a really important part. So that's actually really helped us out. So we like that. Right. Can you quickly explain those tax allowances when you took out cash and put it back in? So yeah, really simplistically, in the UK they have tax brackets. It's like tax-free is about 12,000. Then it goes to about, then I think it goes to 40,000. I think it is. Don't quote me. And then or 45, and then you go up to like 100 something. So the tax rates increase at certain levels. So what we basically did was I would basically just, obviously I'd be paid every month by my business. I made sure that was done, but I wouldn't always be paid the full amount. I'd be paid what I needed. And at the end of the year, depending on the profitability of the company, we'd always say like, okay, let's say for example, I got paid, I don't know, 30,000 and I was being taxed at 20%. So then up to 40,000, I could earn at 20% taxation, but above 40,000, it got to 40%. So what we'd do is I would just always get the additional difference between 30,000 and 40,000 back, as a dividend or as a payment, so that I think it's like payroll if we did it right at 20%, and then or like my basically we always made sure that I maximize my tax allowance as much as possible, even if I didn't need it. Why? Because I would take it right now and then pay the little bit of tax and then put the rest back in the business. Why? Because in 2 or 3 years' time, when I wanted to take money out of the business, I already had all of my directors' loans accounts in the past that I paid in. Because once I take it out this year and pay the taxation on it, then I put it back in again. It's now a director's loan. It's not a payment to me. I'm just getting repaid of my money, so there's no tax on it. So that's one of the things I always did every year, just to increase my tax burden today, but it decreased my tax burden when, like in the long run, which allowed me to pull out 6 figures at a time from my Amazon business and move it into the US, for example, when we got started. That was like a really key thing, but I just always kind of kept that in mind. Right, let's go through. JOD, sorry for the questions. Any advice on doing your tax in the USA as a non-resident alien? A, get my course, because it talks you through that. B, get an accountant. And you probably want a US accountant to do your US company, and then you want a UK accountant to do your UK personal tax return. And the reason I say that is because it gets complex, and then if you're doing US company filings, then that's being done for you. Then we say it in the course, which we do, which is fasttrackfba.com/courses, and you can do like fasttrackfba.com, top right courses, and then just do getting started in the USA as a non-resident. So that's how we set it up, and then the accountants are going to help you. If I put it in perspective, when you start playing the international game, it becomes really expensive. And if I put it in perspective, we have. Technically, we have 2 UK companies, 2 US companies, and I have 2 US accountants, 1 UK accountant, and 1 global tax advisor as well. And by the way, that stuff's not cheap. Like, I probably spend more on accountants than most people making profits in their business. So it gets expensive. I will say that now. So make sure you know what you're doing and you've got the cash to do it. That's an important part. Is cashback counted as a discount total cost of goods on tax returns? Speak to your accountant. That's really important. Generally, and it's treated slightly differently in different countries. So generally speaking, my understanding of it is that cashback is counted as a reduction in the cost of goods, so there is no tax return. There is no tax due on it because it's a reduction in the cost of goods. That's what I understand it as. Now, that's because the cashback should be coming to the personal entity which paid the money. But if the company paid it and you took it personally, then that's different because you did not pay for the thing, but the company did. So therefore, there is a difference in there. Speak to an accountant. Hope that makes sense. It gets complex. My God, you guys are like doing accountancy questions today. Hope I know. Right, Tom needs to go through these questions, and then obviously I will wrap it up. So drop your questions down, and I promise I will fire them really quick. Amazon commission rates have gone up from 15 to 15.30 in the UK. No, they haven't. They've always been that. Amazon commission rates are 15%. There's an EU tax, which is 0.03, which causes the reason to go from 15 to 15.3, I believe. If anyone says otherwise, please let me know. But I believe it's always been that way. It happened about 3 years ago when I was in Amazon. It was an EU. It was a taxation on online transactions. Ollie Babby, all I care about are what are the ASINs? Nope, maybe, nope. Still don't understand the question. What is your split nowadays, Toms? Are you still? No, we do wholesale. I'd probably say we're going to come close to 50-50 soon, depending on like revenue. Like I would like to go that way. I'd like to go more wholesale because it's just easier to buy, like so much easier. When you're dropping like, I think the other day we put $30,000 on one order. Yeah, $30,000, which is like nice. Try doing $30,000 on one order in OA. That's a very big challenge. And when I had nearly 88 staff, that was hard to manage. Right. Loving this curve card, Tom. It uses points to pay for hot food in my town, as I can't use limited company money, and I use limited company money to meal outside my town. I still do boost deals. Yeah, agreed. Really agreed. Like all these little things. I think, can you still use a curve card to pay your VAT invoices or VAT return? I know they were talking about that as well. So you have like a curve card to a credit card, so you get not in the credit card cashback, the curve card cashback, and you can use credit card to pay for your VAT return, which is like crazy. So I love that. And supermarket loyalty points too. Absolutely love it. Agreed. Tax-free allowance is 12,570. Government is increasing it because they want more taxes in the UK from hardworking people. By the way, if you've ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and it's a horrible thing, what you understand is that whether you're he basically says this: if you are a small business, because you are just got the classification of business, you are treated the same as the big corporates, because if they change the rule for you, they change it for the big corporates as well. There is no differentiation between like a limited, which is doing 100,000 a year, or a limited doing billions a year. So they have the same kind of corporation or same thing. So when they're doing tax changes, they're very careful on doing it with businesses, and generally businesses fight government to bring taxes down. And you see it across time over 200 years, like taxation, it's been reducing in the US. You've seen it gone from, I think it was 35 down to 21. I know it's going up in the UK, or has gone up recently. But generally, like, you're okay. But the one thing that in Rich Dad Poor Dad he talks about was the fact that employees are really easy to tax, and it's a horrible thing, but they are. You just change it, and because you can't really deduct much off your employee taxation, but with a business you can. So therefore, it's kind of like, if you want to be really tax efficient, which is generally 20%, 30, 40, 50% sometimes, then like just changing how you do business, or like employee to business, can be game changing. So and the stuff that you can write off is incredible versus what you next to nothing as an employee. So I think you're so right. It's a shame. If we have 5K, can we start with wholesale FBA? You can definitely do it. I probably wouldn't recommend it. I'd probably recommend 10K minimum. Ideally like 20K, just because 5K is nothing. Like, let's just do some quick math. It takes 3 months to turn stock. So if you have 5K divided by 3, you're looking about $1,333 per month you have to invest in stock, because it's going to take 3 months to get that stock purchased, shipped to your warehouse, prepped, shipped into Amazon, on sale on Amazon, wait for it to sell. Once it's sold, 14 days for Amazon to give you the money back, then you get to do it again. 5K is nothing. Like, if you could do 10K a month, that's 30K starting for wholesale. I think you might be in a better place. Right. Terry says, any particular reason you don't pay yourself the 12,000 salary and the rest in dividends? I think dividend tax is 9% as long as you earn below 50. I don't like, it's my accountants who deal with it. I was kind of really talking about what I did back then, if that makes sense. So yeah, my accountants will just deal with it all for me. So like they will look through that income and how it operates, and the way is the most tax effective way for us to do it. So, but you got to realize, like, there's lots of different ways to look at it. But again, I just leave it to my accountant to say, what's the best way for me to take the money and what should we do? And that's one conversation we have per year. So that makes it a lot easier. A lot of time we'll just leave it in companies because we don't need it. Which wholesale supply distributor would you suggest for a beginner who has a 5K investment? Check out my Ungating guide. That can help you out as well. Right, let's go through the cost. We put wholesalers in there, by the way. Sean, yes, but 3,000 VAT limit with Curve and add capital on tap under Curve, £300 for a month in vouchers. Oh, love it. I love it. Thanks, Sean. Great shout out. Capital on tap. Supermarkets have offshore accounts. It's the staff and customers who pay the most in taxes. Agreed. And the whole big thing you saw about Starbucks shifting money over to Ireland. Like, again, just be really mindful. Like, you're going to play this game not for the next like month, 2 months. You're going to play the business game for years to come. If you just start thinking strategically about what you want to do, you can change the game. Right, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, Amit can't be here today, but he will be back next week, and I will be live with him as well. So do tune in next week. Me and him are going to go live. And obviously, if you do have questions, make sure you go into the live next time. Drop the questions before, because I will be there to help you out as well. So thank you very much. Give me a big thumbs up if you've liked this, and I will catch you same time next week. And if you do want any of the free guides, just go onto our website and you'll find them all on there as well, fasttrackfba.com. But so guys, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.